What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode number 725 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's your boy KB coming at you solo dolo, hopefully getting your week off to a phenomenal start. We got a lot to dive into on this episode. We're going to talk some Eagles and some free agency signings and kind of Howie Roseman's offseason plan have taken shape. We're going to get into the madness, Underground Madness, presented by FOCO. We'll talk the bracket a little bit. We had our Selection Sunday live stream tonight. Thank you to everybody who tuned in to make sure that we had ourselves a time. It was a blast. Definitely go check out the stream if you missed it. A lot of fun with myself, Stevie Mac, and Deej. We will also talk some Phils as we sit here 10 days away from opening day. 10 short days away until the boys of summer are back, and I can't wait. We're going to talk a little bit about the fight-ins and some roster battles and a whole lot more. But before we get into all of that, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. We're on every social platform. Subscribe to the pod. Subscribe to the pod. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping not only this show continue to grow, but every show that we have on our network, from Outside the Box to Get in the Hole to Streamer Season to Underground Circuit to Top Bins. It helps us keep taking this thing to the moon, so keep subscribing on Apple and Spotify. Leave those 5-star reviews. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week. Full video episodes of every show on our network. Clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It is all on our YouTube channel. We are currently at 1,037 subscribers. 1,037 subscribers. Let's keep this thing rolling. Let's get to 1,100. Let's get to 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and so on. Let's keep taking this thing to the moon. Keep subscribing. YouTube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Smash that like button. Click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live, and drop a comment in the comment section for us. And this show is proudly presented by the City of Vineland, and the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast.
I'm Mayor Anthony Finucci. If you're looking for the right location, think Vineland, New Jersey. Our pro-business approach is supported by financial incentives, workforce development programs, and other resources which can give your business a competitive edge. Whether you're starting a new business or expanding to new markets, our business environment, infrastructure, accessibility, and quality of life make Vineland an ideal location. More information about how we can help your business grow can be found at vinelandcity.org. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, Philly sports fans, and college basketball fans alike, we got some birds to talk about. We are going to talk the birds. A lot has happened since we last recorded. We've had a lot of things go down with the Philadelphia Eagles, including some signings that we will address here, as since we last recorded, the Eagles have gone on to sign the following players. On the 13th, so a few days ago, the Eagles signed edge rusher Josh Uche to a one-year deal. It's pronounced Uche. We found a tweet from 2020 saying that's how his name is pronounced. Big Uch is coming to a one-year deal, formerly of the New England Patriots, and last season got traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. He's not far removed from having a spectacular season with the New England Patriots. Like, when I saw the name, I thought it looked familiar, and I just did not realize that the Chiefs traded for him last year. But we are not far removed from the 2022 season where Josh Uche had 11.5 sacks with the New England Patriots, who were not a good football team in 2022. They were not a good football team. They finished pretty mediocre at 8-9, but Josh Uche had 11.5 sacks for that defense. 27 combined tackles, 23 solo, 9 tackles for loss, 14 QB hits as well. And then production fell off in 2023, but the Patriots were also really bad, and he only started 2 games that season. And in 2022, he started 0 games and had 11.5 sacks. I think Josh Uche can be a sneaky, under-the-radar signing by Howie Roseman, especially the way that he manipulated the contract and has 4 void years on it to circumvent the cap quite a bit. I like this signing a lot. And I don't even necessarily view him as the Josh Sweat replacement. I view him as the potential Brandon Graham replacement on the roster. That's the crazier part, is you're getting Josh Uche, who is currently, how old is my man? He's 26 years old. He's like 26 and a half years old. His birthday's in September, so by the time the season starts, he'll be 27. I genuinely think this can be a sneaky signing that Vic Fangio is going to use on that defensive line and that pass rush as a hybrid linebacker, edge rusher type. And this could be really, really fun. I like this signing a lot by Howie Roseman. I think Josh Uche is going to bring a lot to the table for this Eagles team, and I think a lot of people are going to sleep on it because he hasn't produced to the level that, flashes off the page at you. But I think in Vic Fangio's defensive scheme, Josh Uche is going to thrive. Will he get back to that 11.5 sack number? Not necessarily where I'm projecting him to. If he does, I won't be shocked. But if Josh Uche can come into this defense and say he's not a starter, say he is a rotation piece, and he comes in and gets, 5.5, 6 sacks for you, that's pretty damn good. If he can get to the mean of the 2 to 3 sacks he's had over the past couple of years and that 11.5, get somewhere around 5, 6, 6.5 sacks for you, that's a win. And I would love to see Josh Uche come in and be a productive player for this defense on that defensive line. Also signed on the 13th of March was tight end Harrison Bryant, formerly of the Las Vegas Raiders, also played for the Cleveland Browns, if I'm not mistaken, to a one-year deal worth about $2 million. That feels like a depth signing to me if I've ever seen one. Hasn't really flashed all that much in his career. Looking at his total yards in 5 years, he's had 877 yards, 10 touchdowns. Feels like a red zone type of player. Kind of fell off with the Raiders last year. Played in 13 games, only started in 3. The most games he's ever started in a season 3 times was 9 between his time in Cleveland. He's like a number 2 tight end. He'll battle with Grant Calcaterra, but I don't necessarily see him as somebody who's going to make a ton of noise on this team and is more so a third tight end option if I've ever seen one. Another signing that happened on the 13th, Adoree Jackson coming over from the New York Giants. I like this signing. I think Adoree Jackson is still very talented. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, he was bad with the Giants. I want you to run that sentence back again and listen to what you said. He was bad with who? With who? Oh, that's right. And I know. Adoree Jackson is 29 years old. He'll be 30 when the season starts. Are his best days behind him? Potentially. But is he still a really quality player? And this isn't your Darius Slay replacement. This is your Isaiah Rodgers replacement. I think this is a quality 1-year deal signing, and if it doesn't feel like it's working in training camp, you can easily move on from him. But I think Adoree Jackson is fun. I think he's a swagger type player, and I think he provides what you in in like that third corner type of player on the outside, and he can return punts. He can return punts, so that's another added factor to his game that I do like. Also, signing with the Eagles. The Eagles have signed to 1-year deals for the following players. According to Aaron Wilson, long snapper Charlie Hewlett from the Cleveland Browns. Linebacker Patrick Johnson is back in the building per Diana Rossini. He signs a 1-year deal with the Birds to come back. He spent most of last year with the Giants. He was in camp with the Eagles, and the Eagles ended up letting him go, so he went to New York. But he is back in the building, a former 7th-round pick of the Birds. Kick returner, punt return specialist, according to also Diana Rossini. Avery Williams, and the Eagles confirmed that signing recently. He's here on a 1-year deal, formerly of the Atlanta Falcons, a kick return, punt return specialist. And then, according to Adam Schefter, the Eagles are also signing tight end Kylan Granson from the Indianapolis Colts. He's probably the player I don't know all that much about. He will be turning 27 at the end of this month. And Granson, he's kind of been a third tight end option or just a second tight end option, and Indianapolis has just been that bad in the passing game. 958 career yards, 1 career touchdown in 2023. Interesting signing. We'll see. He's been used in the run game a little bit too. In the past, he had 1 carry for 2 yards in 2023, so something that you could pay attention to there potentially. Definitely a depth signing, if I've ever seen one, to kind of just get some bodies on the roster. But I do think the signing of Charlie Hewlett is one of those uncomfortable signings, and that's no offense to Charlie, but Rick Lovato will not be coming back to the Philadelphia Eagles after spending almost a decade here, winning 2 Super Bowls here. I do think it's fascinating to look at his career here and just the way things wound up this year, that we were all very focused on Jake Elliott and his struggles and never really paid any mind to the long snapping per se, because nothing ever really looked bad on the snaps. But I wonder if that's something that special teams coaches kind of looked at and said, hey, we need to make a change. It is interesting that Charlie Hewlett is about 2 years older than Rick Lovato, so they got older at a position. I'm going to miss Rick. I think he was a consummate pro. I think you can genuinely say he has the argument to be put down as an all-time Eagle in his career. Him and John Dornbos being the fixtures at the long snapping position for most of my lifetime. want to see how long Dorenbos was on the Eagles, actually. Just to see. I mean, Dorenbos was on the Eagles from 2006 to 2016, and then Rick Lovato took over afterwards and has been here since. So, majority of my formative years, the long snapping duties on the Philadelphia Eagles were handled by John Dorenbos and Rick Lovato. And it's one of those things that, you know, Howie Roseman said, it's going to be an uncomfortable offseason in a lot of aspects, and we don't necessarily view the long snapping position as a position of, you know, glitz and glam and anything, but it's a very important position in the sport of football. And I don't think a lot of people genuinely give it enough credence for how difficult it is, how much more of a skill and talent it is to long snap. Not just any center can walk in and do that. So it's definitely something that's fascinating. Charlie Hewlett, who has been with the Cleveland Browns, and I don't know if he was with another team previously. I know he's with the Browns because it was his. Yep, so he spent his whole career with the Browns from 2015 to this year, 10 years with the Browns. And, you know, we'll see how things kind of work out with Charlie coming in. He'll be 35 when the season starts. It's a 1-year deal. So maybe they're, you know, kind of using Charlie as a, let's try to get Jake right. Let's try to fix some things with our long snapping maybe. And then we address the position in 2026 when the cap's a little more circumvented to fit our needs. But interesting signing for sure. And gonna miss Rick Lovato. And I think with the Avery Williams signing as well, it kind of spells the end of Britton Covey. A guy who was a consummate pro, worked his tail off to be as phenomenal at anything he was asked of throughout his career here. The Eagles officially announced the Avery Williams signing today as I record this, or a couple days ago Saturday morning. So the NFL's punt return leader in 2022, he averaged 16.2 yards per return. He averaged 22.4 yards per kickoff return and 10.9 yards per punt return for his career. This past season, he played in all 17 games. He averaged 27.2 yards per kickoff return and 9.3 yards per punt return. Former 5th-round pick of the Falcons in 2021 out of Boise State. He was drafted as a corner, and then Atlanta moved him to running back, which is the position he played in high school during his second season. He was a walk-on at Boise State, so kind of a chip on his shoulder. He's a little smaller, I think, than Britton Covey, or maybe they're the same height. I know Britton Covey's not like the tallest guy, but he's an inch taller than Britton Covey. So yeah, Avery Williams, welcome to the squad. And I'm glad Patrick Johnson's back. I think that's huge. I think that's your Oren Burks replacement, as Oren Burks left for Cincinnati. And that allows you to bring in a guy who knows the defense to a degree. I know he departed early in the season, so he didn't necessarily play in Fangio's defense full-fledged, but at 27 years old, you bring in a linebacker who had been with the team since 2021, kind of started as a defensive end, moved to linebacker in 2023, and then with the Eagles, he played in 1 game, spent camp here, and then 12 games with the Giants. I think this is a good signing, and I think this is going to be very helpful for the Eagles in the lull period without Nakobe Dean. So that helps you in that sense to have some depth there, along with Jeremiah Trotter Jr. And obviously Zach Bond is here. But outside of those guys, I don't know what other linebackers are on the roster, quite frankly. Let's go position by position here. I mean, you look at the linebacker position, Nakobe Dean, Dallas Gant is on the roster. O'Shawn Mathis is on the roster. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. They list Josh Uche as a linebacker. I don't know if I necessarily view him as a linebacker, more so as an edge rusher. And then you add Patrick Johnson to that, and obviously Zach Bond. You lose Oren Burks. I think that's a smart signing there for the Philadelphia Eagles to bring Patrick Johnson back. And I think he's a talented player that didn't get enough credit for how well he was developing. And he's going to be a big piece for the depth of this defense moving forward. So that's a ton of fun. And I'm excited. I'm excited about the prospects that the Eagles are bringing in free agency. And then, unfortunately, the big news, too. And before I break that news, if you haven't seen it already, I want to talk to you guys about our friends at 47 Brand. Guys, 47 Brand, I'm rocking the hat right now, the Phillies Diamonds. I love this style of the hitch. It's very classic, very vintage. 47 Brand is genuinely my go-to hats, and they've got you ready for baseball season. They've got the Philadelphia Eagles collections. They just launched one of the sickest March Madness vintage collections as well for past champions. You guys know me. I love a good vintage apparel, a good vintage hat. 47 Brand is my go-to hat all the time, no matter what. I've been rocking them for decades, literal decades, and they've never let me down. Use our link in the description. Shop everything 47 Brand has to offer, from MLB, NFL, NHL, NBA, NCAA, minor league baseball, NASCAR, professional soccer, and more. And when you use our link in the description, you get free shipping on all orders when you shop with our friends at 47 Brand. Again, use the link in the description. Check out all the styles, all the gear, all the leagues that 47 Brand has officially licensed merch with, and join the 47 family today, and you'll get free shipping on all orders. Shout out to 47 Brand for being a proud partner of the podcast. The unfortunate news that came across the timeline late on Saturday was Mekhi Becton leaving, or late on Friday, I should say, early on Saturday. Mekhi Becton is leaving the Philadelphia Eagles. He signed a 2-year, $20 million deal with the Los Angeles Chargers. Howie Roseman was never going to be able to pay big money for 5 offensive linemen. We have to remember, yes, Jordan Mailata is under contract. Yes, Lane Johnson's under contract. Yes, Landon Dickerson's under contract. The Eagles still have to pay Cam Jurgens. He's still on his rookie contract, if I'm not mistaken. And I think in this instance, Cam Jurgens is more valuable to the Eagles than Mekhi Becton was in terms of long-standing stability at the position that they play. Cam's going to be an unrestricted free agent in 2026. You have to sign him to a long-term contract. He's on his rookie deal right now. You're going to have to sign him to a contract extension probably this offseason. You still have to pay Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis on the defensive side of the ball. You have a lot of contracts, and that's why you're seeing the Eagles sign a lot of one-year deals here and then get all of these compensatory picks for the players that are leaving in free agency. I'm going to miss Mekhi Becton 100%. He stepped in and became such a stalwart at that right guard position and was such a force behind helping Saquon Barkley, along with the rest of the guys on the line, have the season he had and protecting Jalen Hurts, and he is going to be missed big time in the Chargers. Chargers fans, if you're somehow listening to this podcast, you got a winner in Mekhi Becton. He is truly somebody that is so easy to root for and just such a lovable personality, such a bubbly and just fun human being. I'm genuinely going to miss the big ticket, and I hope Chargers fans take care of him well and show him love and support because he absolutely deserves it. But now it's on the Eagles to evaluate Tyler Steen. It's on the Eagles to evaluate the draft and look at some interior offensive linemen to add to this O-line on a rookie deal on a cheaper type of contract. See what you have in Tyler Steen. See what you have in some of these guys that are on the roster right now, and really evaluate how you want the offensive line to shake out, because I genuinely don't believe that Kenyon Green is the answer. Now, will he potentially develop and be something moving forward? Maybe. I mean, he's just 24 years old, former first-round pick, and I know you never want to hear first-round pick there in terms of former first-round pick whatsoever, but he's a player that needs a lot of work. Missed the 2023 season due to injury, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done for Kenyon Green to succeed, in my opinion. And this is not the easiest of places to just say, hey, let's have development time. Like, the Eagles are in a window where they can win multiple Super Bowls now. And if you know Jeffrey Lurie, if you know Howie Roseman, you cannot have a weak link on this offensive line. It just cannot happen. So we'll see how, things work out with either Kenyon Green, Tyler Steen, draft pick, whatever it may be. But now you have to replace Mekhi Becton. You have to replace Josh Sweat. You have to replace Milton Williams, which you kind of did with Moro Ojomo. You kind of replaced Josh Sweat with Nolan Smith. But now you have to replace those guys and where they were fixated in the defense. You have to replace Darius Slay. You have to replace Isaiah Rodgers. Adoree Jackson is here now. So they're working some things out, and I think if you're able to trade Bryce Huff this offseason, that'll be a huge lift of movable money. If you can get that type of deal done, that would be fantastic. But that's a lot of, moving parts there. We'll see what happens, but a lot of stuff going down with the Birds. It's kind of slowed down quite a bit. That first round of free agency, a lot of stuff happened. But a lot of things starting to simmer a little bit, slow down, which is perfect for what is to come in the coming weeks, because it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for Underground Madness 2025. That is right. Underground Madness is back, and it is presented by FOCO. Guys, we love FOCO here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. They are truly the best in the game. They just powered our Selection Sunday live stream. They'll be powering and sponsoring all of our live streams, companion streams throughout March Madness, all of our clips, interviews, March Madness segments. It's all brought to you by FOCO. They got on board with us. They like the concept of them powering our March Madness coverage, and we are so stoked to have a company like FOCO backing one of our biggest content pushes of the year, which is March Madness. Join our bracket challenge presented by FOCO. It's linked in the description. Free to join. The winner is going to get hooked up with some awesome, awesome gear from FOCO. And guys, right now, from now until April 8th, from March 16th to April 8th, you guys can use the link in the description. Make sure you use that link. That's how FOCO is going to know you're coming from us. It's a specific link made especially for us. Use that link. And when you go to check out, when you fill your cart up to the gills with our friends at FOCO, use code UNDERGROUND10 from now through April 8th, and you'll get 10% off your entire order from our friends at FOCO. When you use that code, FOCO's going to know you're coming from us, you're supporting us, and it helps us kind of showcase to them, like, hey, thanks for taking a chance on us. We're scratching your back now with people using our code and our link. So use the link in the description and use code UNDERGROUND10 at checkout when you shop with our friends at FOCO, and you'll get 10% off your entire order through April 8th. And Underground Madness 2025 is powered and presented by FOCO. As we keep it moving along here, want to talk a little bracket, as I said, and the bracket is out, which is exciting, and there is there's a lot, with this bracket that are open to the masses. Your 1 seeds are Auburn, Duke, Houston, and Florida. UNC gets into the dance, which is crazy. Should not have happened. West Virginia got snubbed. Shout out to Wes Euler and all the West Virginia homies. They got snubbed big time. Indiana got snubbed. Shout out to Harrison. I'm sure he'll have a lot to say on Thursday's show with you guys as we prepare for the tournament. But we do have DJ's Michigan Wolverines in the dance as a 5 seed, which a lot of people are saying they're a bit underseeded. Should have been a 4. They'll be playing UC San Diego on Thursday at 10 p.m. That could be a Madness After Dark stream with us. We also have former intern Brittany and her Wofford Terriers in the dance. And it's just going to be a fun... This is like one of the most fun times of the year. I love March Madness. And being able to fill out a bracket is just a feeling like no other. And to have that adrenaline rush of being like, I'm going to pick this team. This is my upset. I like this matchup. And seeing what you end up with at the end is truly a feeling like no other. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait for Thursday at 12:15 p.m. when Louisville and Creighton tip off, which is going to be an electric 8-9 seed matchup. When that game tips off, I am going to be vegging out, multiple screens going, and just consuming all of the college basketball. And it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait to just take it all in and see what all shakes out from all these games. And looking at some of our potential matchups here for Underground Madness, we are looking at a potential live stream from us of Clemson and McNeese on Thursday, and potentially looking at Michigan and UC San Diego doubleheader action from us, as well as so that's a potential teaser there for a couple games there on Thursday. Clemson McNeese at 3:15 in the afternoon. I'll definitely be tapped in for that. That's going to be so much fun, and we are working to get a little some interview with I want to pull up his exact title because I just followed him on the tweet machine. Reed Vidal, the special assistant to McNeese basketball's head coach. He kind of runs their NIL and a whole bunch of stuff, and we're working on getting Reed on the show, which will be a ton of fun. And we are also working on some other interviews. So if you're out there, you're a college basketball expert, you have a podcast about college basketball, you want to talk hoops with us, shoot us a DM or hit us up. Email us, undergroundsportsphi@gmail.com. We'd love to have you on the show, break it all down with you. But we are working on landing a ton of guests for Madness season, and it's just one of the most beautiful times of the year. And we push March Madness so heavy here at this company. It's a big-time community growth initiative for us, and it's a time like no other. We have so much fun with Underground Madness, and it's something I look forward to every year. It's, a nice end to the first quarter of the year as it gets going, and it's an awesome way to help us build our community, and we're doing it bigger and better than ever this year, and we're excited for what we're going to bring to the table, from live streams to interviews to recaps of each day. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're not already tapped in with us for Underground Madness, join our bracket challenge. It's linked in the description. It's free to join. It's presented by FOCO, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Get in. You're going to be competing against all your favorite Underground Sports Philadelphia personalities, from myself, DJ, Harrison, Steve, Casey, Owen, Sarah, Matt's going to join. Dom's probably going to join as well. Some underground OGs. Christian will be in there as well. I'm sure Mark's going to be joining from Top-10. So definitely get into our bracket challenge. Sign up. It's linked in the description. It's free to join. Going to be a ton of fun this madness season. But let me know your thoughts on the bracket as well. We have a couple days before everything truly gets started. But if you have some takes on the bracket, leave me a voicemail at speakpipe.com/undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Speakpipe.com/undergroundsportsphiladelphia. I want to hear your thoughts on the bracket, your potential winners. Sound off. It's the A.J. Brown voicemail line because that thing is always open. Leave us a voicemail. Speakpipe.com/undergroundsportsphiladelphia. And our March Madness breakdown here also brought to you by our friends over at Paramount Plus. Guys, the best way to watch all this tournament action is on Paramount Plus with the Showtime plan. And if you're a student right now, we have a deal for you. Through April 9th, students get 50% off any Paramount Plus plan for a limited time. That is a steal of the century. Students get 50% off any Paramount Plus plan for a limited time. Stream March Madness on CBS and more. Get started today. Use our link in the description. If you are a student and you want to catch all the madness, sign up for Paramount Plus using our link in the description. You don't want to miss a second of the tournament action. Get 50% off any Paramount. That's any Paramount Plus plan for a limited time. Get 50% off when you use our link. Stream March Madness on CBS and more. And shout out to Paramount Plus for hooking up all the students out there with a big-time discount for March Madness. Stream the madness on Paramount Plus. Get started today with the link in the description. Oh, boy, that's badass. That is badass if I've ever seen a deal come across my ways. But we're going to round out the show here with a little breakdown of the Fightin' Phils. The Fightin's. We love the Fightin' Phils here. And before you know it, the Phils are going to be back. And that is exciting. We are 10 days away from Philly season. They have gone pure belt to ass over the past week or so. The unfortunate thing that occurred today is Max Kepler had to leave the game after he collided with the wall during their game against the Orioles. In the first inning of this game. So he ran off the field under his own power, did not seem seriously injured at the time, could potentially just be a precautionary thing given it's an exhibition game. I need Kepler to be healthy, not only because I love this dude, but just for my agenda as well and letting people know he's a damn good baseball player. That's brutal news. I just need the Phillies to get out of spring training healthy. Quite frankly. Over their last 8 games, they're 6-1-1 in spring training, and they've scored 74 runs. 74 runs in their last 8 games. If anybody can do quicker math than I can before I pull up my calculator, good for you. But I'm going to do some quick math here. They're averaging 9.25 runs a game. I was told that this team did not improve. I was told that this team wasn't going to be able to hit. I was told this team did not get better over the offseason. I understand it's spring training. But I was told that this team, there's nothing to look forward to. But I guarantee all y'all that are talking like that will be down at Citizens Bank Park come March 31st for opening day. You'll be there on April 2nd for opening night. You'll be there for the weekend series against the Dodgers. You'll be there day in and day out all season long taking in this team because guess what? This team is going to be good. This is a good baseball team, an elite baseball team even. Because guess what? This team knows how to hit the baseball, and more importantly, they know how to pitch. They are going to pitch the ever-living shit out of the baseball. Jesus Luzardo was phenomenal again today in spring training. 6 strikeouts in 4 innings. Nabil Krismak came in for an inning. Kyle Tyler came in for an inning. Tyler Phillips and Michael Mercado closed things out. But on top of that, this team is raking. Trey Turner 1 for 3 today with a walk and a run batted in. Buddy Kennedy scored a run. Bryson Stott has been unbelievable. Like, I think the best 3 players in spring training so far, no order, Bryce Harper, Max Kepler, Bryson Stott. Those dudes have been on fire. Christian Arroyo has also been fantastic. I would love to see him make this roster if it's possible. And Mundo Sosa's been tearing the cover off the ball. Brandon Marsh has been solid. Cody Clemens has been having a great spring. And, like, some of these guys I'm listing are just depth guys, bench guys, trying to make the roster type guys. This isn't even the full lineup. But the Phillies have guys hitting. They have guys pitching. Jose Alvarado has been unbelievable. The bullpen has looked spectacular this spring. But this team didn't improve. There's nothing to be excited about. They're not going to be good. The Mets and Braves are better. If you're not optimistic season in and season out about a 162-game season where baseball is the ultimate crapshoot game because outside of the pitch clock, there's no clock involved. Anything can happen. I don't know what to tell you. I feel bad for you if you cannot get excited about this baseball team that is littered with star talent. I understand there's not that many new shiny toys on the team besides my boy Jesus Luzardo. But this team got better, okay? Max Kepler, hopefully everything's okay, is exactly what this team has been looking for the last 3 years in the outfield. Jesus Luzardo would be a number 2 starter on 75% of the league in their rotations. Jordan Romano is bound to have a bounce-back season with Caleb Cotham and this bullpen coaching staff working with him. Jose Alvarado looks like he's poised to have an all-star season. Everything looks like it's going to be okay with Matt Strom's shoulder, which is a good sign. Take it easy, though, but that's a good sign. I think Orion Kerkering is bound to take another step forward. This team has so much star power on it, and so many Phillies fans, and I'll even do this, Phillies fans are so, blinded and in disarray because of a fluky phase out in the playoffs last year. Was that frustrating? Absolutely. But they ran into arguably the hottest team, not named the Dodgers, in all of baseball. That Mets team last year was playing, they were playing the vibes game. That Mets team was playing with all vibes. Anything they touched just went their way. And then they ran into the hottest team in baseball and the best team in baseball last year. But it's a new year. It's a clean slate. So many new faces, so many new players on teams. The Phillies don't have to go to London this year. This team is going to be exponentially better, and we're going to forget about the 2024 season so quickly. We are going into a season where the Phillies are the defending National League East champions. And I don't want to hear, winning the division doesn't matter. Winning the division in baseball is still up there with winning your division in football. Winning a division in baseball is so impressive because of how long you have to sustain excellence from the course of late March all the way into early October. Like, that's how long the season is from late March to early October, typically, late September. You have to sustain excellence for 6 to 7 months to win a division. That's impressive to me. And if it's not impressive to you, I want to know what impresses you. The Phillies are the defending National League East champions. They won 95 games last year. They have a better pitching staff this year. They're not going to be bouncing around the first 2.5 months of the season because Taijuan Walker got hurt and then Spencer Turnbull got hurt. And you're throwing out guys like Michael Mercado and guys from the minor leagues every fifth day, waiting for somebody to walk through the door to pitch for you. This team is, come July, this team is going to be 6 deep in the rotation when Andrew Painter is ready to go. That's exciting. Your number one prospect is going to be a part of this team, of the now and the future. He's going to get to learn from Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola and Ranger Suarez and Jesus Luzardo and Christopher Sanchez. And Caleb Cotham will be coaching him. I don't know about you, but that's exciting to me. That's exciting to me. And I'm already looking at tickies for games I'm going to be at because, this season when I'm at games, whether I'm with CFO Margie or I'm there by myself or with friends, I want to link up with the Underground faithful, say what's up, and catch up with the people. So I will be looking to be at opening day. I'm hoping to be there with CFO Margie. Opening night, potentially going to be there with the fam, link up with the people, have some fun out there with CFO Margie, the OG, Sarah and Matt. April 6th, CFO Margie and I will be there for our first season ticket game against the Dodgers, so that'll be a ton of fun. And then there's some other games along the way that I will be at, plus all of my season ticket games that I'll be there for, so a lot of fun stuff to look forward to with the Phils. And if you're not excited about what this team is going to bring to the table, I feel bad for you. I genuinely feel bad for you. And I hope that when you realize this team is going to be good, you look yourself in the mirror and say, I done goofed. I said some things I shouldn't have said about the Philadelphia Phillies going into the year. I messed up. That's on me. I want to hear people apologizing to KB and Underground Sports Philadelphia. Because this team is going to be electric. And you know what else is electric, guys? Our friends over at Kenwood Beer. We love Kenny over here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. Go to kenwoodbeer.com. Use the Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and Pittsburgh areas. You can also find Kenwood Beer at your local liquor stores in those markets. Saw Stevie Mac doing a little beer crawl on St. Patty's Day weekend with Kenny. But again, kenwoodbeer.com. Use the Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in those areas and at your local liquor stores in those markets. Must be 21 or older to do so. And, of course, please drink responsibly. A little housekeeping here before I get up out of here. Some cool news that came across the timeline this week was dope to see. It was super dope to see our shows named on these lists. So, according to FeedSpot Podcasts, which FeedSpot, they are a podcast media contact database to help you discover 100,000 plus podcasters and influencers in 1,500 plus niches. So they do like podcast public relations and stuff, which is super cool. And the 100 best Philadelphia podcasts list came out on March 10th, so a week ago. But I was made privy to this over the weekend. Number 1 on the list is WMMR's Preston and Steve Daily Podcast. Shout out to Preston and Steve. Would love to have them on this show one day. They are truly like my idols. I love those guys. I've had a long-standing connection with them and interactions with them. They're truly the best. Shout out to Preston and Steve. They deserve to be number one. They are Philadelphia when it comes to the media game. Then number 2 is a friend of the program, James Seltzer and Elliot Shore Parks, Go Birds podcast. Number 3 is the Glenn Macnow and Ray Dininger kind of recap show on 94 WIP, which is now Mike Sealski and Rob Ellis. Then it is NBC Sports Philadelphia's Eagle Eye podcast. That's their Eagle show with Ruben Frank and Dave Zangaro. And then number 5 is friends of the program, Jack Fritz and James Seltzer, the High Hopes podcast. And then the next show is the Sixers Beat, which I think has since turned into the PHLY Sixers podcast, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So that is now the PHLY Sixers podcast over at PHLY. Shout out to them. Derek Bodner, Kyle Neubeck, Devon Givens, Rich Hoffman. Then number 7 is Ike, Spike, and Fritz, the WIP Afternoon Show podcast recap. And then number 8 is the WIP Midday Show with Hugh Douglas and Joe Giglio. And then number 9 is the show you're listening to right now, Underground Sports Philadelphia, with myself, Harrison Kremens listed as well, which is really cool. I know this isn't like the Webbies or some huge internet award thing, but to see those other shows that are listed ahead of us are all radio stations, big corporate media, and with PHLY's case, they have big investment behind them. And it's people who have been covering the Sixers for years now as credentialed media. To see us as the top independent media outlet, Philadelphia podcast listed, is one of the coolest things ever. I don't care what outlet it's from, to be recognized like that, to be in the top 10 along with shows from WIP that has a national fan base, a long-standing fan base, to have our name mentioned in those breaths in the top 10 with a Preston and Steve. We're in the top 10 with Preston and Steve, WIP, and the All City Network. That's really cool. And that's because of you guys listening and watching. It really does mean a lot, and I can't thank you guys enough for continuing to support us and, you know, being the ones to help get this show to where it's at. You know, we wouldn't be here without our listeners, and genuinely, you guys are the best, and you make stuff like this happen for us. So truly, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you guys. And it was one of the coolest things. And as I continue scrolling, number 10, Corner Pub Sports, who have been in the media game for quite some time. They've been following us for a while too. Shout out to them. Another independent outlet out there in the top 10. Then number 11 is Phillies podcast. And then number 12 is the Outside the Box podcast with myself and Deej. To see that as well be listed in the top 12 is so dope. So dope. The hard work we put in on that show as well is crazy. We do so much to grow our podcast here on the network big time. And we've been doing OTB since year one of the company. It started in November, December of 2018 and made its own feed in October of 2019. And people have been rocking with us for a while now. And we genuinely appreciate the hell out of you guys so much. and to have two of our podcasts here at an independent network that we fund ourselves. We don't collect a paycheck yet. This is us building up the dream to where we want it to be. To see two of our shows recognized as top 12 podcasts in the city of Philadelphia by FeedSpot really means a lot. And then on another podcast ratings chart, Million Podcasts, again, the whole podcast was named the number 69 PGA Tour podcast. Nice. But number 69 on their list. So to have three podcasts in the course of a week get recognized to this magnitude is so cool. It means so much to us here, and we wouldn't be here without you guys. So thank you for continuing to support us, to continue to support independent media outlets like Underground Sports Philadelphia. I know there's a ton more out there for sure. But to support us and to back us and listen to our show week in and week out, episode in and episode out, means a lot to everyone that works for the company now, that has worked for the company previously, because they're all still rooting for us and supporting us. So from the bottom of my heart as the owner of this company and the guy who got things cooking from the jump, thank you. It truly is one of the coolest things to see that we are a top 10 podcast in the city of Philadelphia, according to FeedSpot, who deal with 100,000 plus podcasts. It's really cool, and it truly is unbelievable. So from Underground and OTB and getting the whole to be ranked in the top 100 of their top 70 really in their respective categories and everything like that is super cool. So thank you guys a lot. It really does mean the world to us. And there's only one way to go, and that's up. So last thing before I get out of here too, just want to shout out our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. Guys, there's no better way to stand out in the crowd than with our friends at PHI Apparel Company. Truly, from Phillies, Eagles, Flyers, the basketball team, the Union, Philly-centric merch, and Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast merch, the best place to rep your favorite team, your favorite brand, your favorite podcast is with our awesome merch partners. Go to phiapparel.co, and when you go to checkout, use code UNDERGROUND, and you'll get 10% off your entire merch order from our friends at PHI Apparel Company. Again, phiapparel.co, use code UNDERGROUND at checkout, and you'll get 10% off your next merch order from our awesome friends at PHI Apparel Company, the official merch partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. That's all I got for you guys on this one. A quick, simple, easy, short show. Not too much has happened since the last time we recorded, but a whole lot will be happening with all the madness. Stay tuned. Follow us on the socials to keep up to date with all of our live streams that will be coming throughout March Madness. So you can tune in and watch along with us, see all of us react to our brackets, more than likely getting busted live on air, and follow along for all the latest news, notes, and in-betweens for all your favorite Philly sports teams. At Underground PHI is the place to follow us. You can also follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311 and KBIZZLE11 on Instagram and Threads. Subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. It really does go a long way for helping the show continue to grow. Helps us continue just building this thing out, and it lets us get to number 9 on certain podcast charts. So keep subscribing on Apple and Spotify. Leave those 5-star reviews. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It is all on our YouTube channel. We're at 1,037 subscribers. Let's get to 1,100. Let's get to 1,100, man. 1,038. Sorry, 1,038. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's get to 1,100 before the end of the month. Keep subscribing, Apple and Spotify. And, of course, on the YouTube. Smash that like button, ring the bell icon, and drop us a comment in the comment section as well. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And this show is proudly presented by the city of Vineland. And the city of Vineland, guys, if you're a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process. And their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you're considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. This has been episode number 725. 725 episodes of Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm your boy KB. Let's have ourselves a great start to the week. The madness is lurking. The madness is lurking. I can't wait. It's going to be a ton of fun this coming week with March Madness and so much more here at Underground Sports Philadelphia, including Underground Circuit celebrating their 100th episode. Well, we got a lot going on. Can't wait to talk to you guys again. Harrison and I will be chatting with you on Thursday. It'll be in your ears right before the madness tips off. But until then, I'm getting the heck up out of here, and I'm signing off. Peace.